Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Cancer is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free, does not cost anything. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. We start with an Ace of Wands. You're somebody that has a lot of passion in you. I feel like you've got a vision. I feel like you're feeling you're feeling an impulse. You're feeling a supercharge of, I don't know, vital energy, right? In a particular direction. Something has got you inspired right now. This is the card that really says that we're sort of feeling all of our forces just gaining strength and aiming at a particular thing, a path, a project, maybe a new person, whatever it could be. Okay, we need to put this into some context. This is very, very strong energy to begin with. Okay, and we've got the Hierophant. All right, we've got a Knight of Swords, a Seven of Swords. We've got the Universe and a Ten of Swords. It's kind of, wow, a lot of air energy here. You're a classic overthinker, aren't you? But despite the overthinking, you believe in the sacredness of this path, and you understand that it might be a 1 in a million shot, but you're going to follow your star, and you're going to go in that direction. Okay, I think that you have anxiety about the past, you have worries about the future, and that's all right. We all do. And again, I think Cancer, it's kind of more of a classic Cancer trait, I think, the overthinking. Let's do the rest of our cards over here on the Path of the Serpent. We've got the Moon card, a Six of Swords, a Five of Cups, and look at that Ace of Swords. A lot of air energy, but clarity. Tapping into the divine, right? I love that. I love that you're very much aware of your thinking. You're a person who has a lot of thoughts. And you're like, yep, I do. I know. You're very aware of your mind. You're very aware of what you think about, what you worry about. You're very aware of the way that you sort of fret on stuff, you worry about things, you might stew over stuff. You're very much aware of the potential negative outcomes. But with all the Swords cards that we have, we've got a 7, we've got a 10, we've got the Knight, we've got a 6, we've got an Ace. What we don't have is a 9. We don't have that suffering. We don't have that misery. We don't have you losing any sleep at night. You're very much aware of all the ways that this could go wrong, right? You're someone who tends to catastrophize. You kind of know that what are the worst things that could possibly happen? And that's where our Ten of Swords in the future position is. But despite that, you're not someone who is going to be miserable over that. You know what I mean? Like, you're able to anticipate all of the challenges. You're able to say, yeah, this could really crash and burn. This could be the worst thing that I've ever done. But you're not losing sleep over that. It's like you're concerned about the future. You understand all the ways that this could go really, really, really bad. But you're going to do it anyway. And it's kind of like this fiery, and this is the creative energy in you right now. This is right here. Front and center. This is the only fire energy we have. And it's kind of like this fire is enough to blow all those swords kind of out of the water or I mean, out of the air, I guess, right? And I think that you're able to overcome and override all of the catastrophizing, all of the thinking, the overthinking, right? The sort of the planning for the worst, perhaps, right? Planning for the worst. Anyway, let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Jimbo, the Lizard King, a.k.a. Mr. Lizard, right there on top. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during this program you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction, your guess, your hunch down in the comments. All right. Let's look around the room. We see some major arcana. 1, 2, 3. The Hierophant is the sort of the sacredness. It's kind of like the higher self guiding you, giving you the wisdom. It's kind of like the mind may be worried, but the soul knows, right? The soul knows. And the universe, of course, is the astronomical, perhaps the astronomical odds of this working. It's kind of a 1 in a million shot, or maybe this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. That despite your worries and fears, you're going to do it. And of course, we've got the Moon card, which is the fear. Okay. And it's kind of, to me, the Moon card is a card of taboo. It's kind of a card of fear. It's a card of the dark, scary forest. It's kind of saying here that, you know, the more you try not to think about something, the more you find yourself thinking about it. So I think you've reached a point where you just say, I got no choice but to go. I'm ready to blast off here into this world, into this universe, into outer space, come what may. There's no avoiding it anymore. And sometimes that Moon card is you know, we're trying to avoid. Okay? We're trying to, we don't want to face that fear, but the more we try to avoid it, the more we think about it, right? It's kind of like if I were to tell you not to think of an elephant, right? What are you thinking of? Well, an elephant. It's going to be hard not to think of the elephant, right? But don't think of the elephant. Until we reach a point where it's just like, you know what, I'm not going to be able to leave myself alone about this until I go and explore this and I try to trust in whatever higher power you believe in, and we go for it. Okay, so you got your major arcana. You got the fire right here, which is we're ready to blast off. You got this impulse. All your fiery, creative, vital energy is getting aroused, and it's like the engines are starting to rev up, and it's starting to really, the engines are getting fired up here. Okay. I said that you're very aware of your thoughts. You're someone who knows that you think a lot. You know what you think about. You're in your head a lot, right? The one thing that is not so apparent to you, I think, is your emotions. Or the emotions these are the difficult things for you. And I don't know, this seems like kind of classic Cancer in a way. Maybe an exaggerated form, right? Where it's just a lot of intellectual energy and a difficulty tapping into the emotions. Okay. I kind of feel like this is what we need. Instead of trying to block this out, trying to compartmentalize this, and instead getting into our thinking energy and trying not to think of the elephant, right? I feel like you're just realizing, okay, you know what? I need to go the opposite way. I need to put all these sword cards right here, and I need this one too, and I need to take my emotions, and that's what's going to drive me forward. This is what I have to tap into. The overthinking is not helping me. I can't not think about the elephant. I might as well just think about the elephant and just have the feelings here. Use the emotions as fuel for this rocket ship that we blast off into that future, right? Into that limitless kind of atmosphere, right? Now I got to try to put all these back where they were. I think they were like this. Okay. So anyway, we have fire and water, a lot of air, and not a lot of earth cards. Okay. The Hierophant is an earth energy. It's a Taurus card. The universe here is an earth card. So not a lot of earth cards, but I think between these two, this is saying that if we want this bad enough, if we allow ourselves to feel this feeling, it's going to manifest. We have no choice but to follow this path. We are compelled to do this by our very own soul. Okay? And this is the realization that if I do this, it's going to change. It's going to change my life. Okay. And I think that you're feeling called to this. You feel that there's something within you that is telling you to go in this direction. Maybe a direction that's geared toward education. I don't know, maybe in a very practical sense, you're thinking about starting a new class, or taking a course, or going back to school or university, or becoming a teacher, or in some way changing your role in life. I think what was once sacred to you is changing. You're realizing that your attention is being drawn towards something else. The Hierophant can be a lot of things. It can be a teacher, it can be a mentor, it can be a guide, it can be a tour guide. It can be a therapist, it can be someone who's, it can be a boss at work, it could be the owner of a company. It's in some role where you're learning how to be of service to the larger world. This is your aspiration towards something that is bigger than you, higher than you, more important than you and your thoughts and feelings, more important than any of us, right? It takes us beyond the human realm. It takes us beyond just, let's say, ego consciousness, okay? And that's where you're going, so we might as well do the beginning and now do the end, the Ace of Swords. I know I'm going out of order here, but that's okay. It's my program. I can do that. The end here is you getting outside of the ego consciousness. This clarity, this Ace of Swords, is going beyond the clouds, beyond the atmosphere, to the upper atmosphere, and then popping out into outer space. The tip of the sword is in outer space, receiving the cosmic rays, receiving the starlight from your star, your soul, your, God, Goddess, deity, the cosmic energy, whatever you want to call it. Receiving that clarity, realizing that you're taking orders from something that goes beyond ego consciousness. You tapped into something here that is going to allow you to deal with your thoughts in a way that is productive, in a way that's useful. Sometimes it's good to understand the past. Sometimes it's good to sort of, project some of our worries into the future and realize all the ways that something can go horribly wrong. But this is like you're tapped into that cosmic energy, and it brings you clarity. Despite all the overthinking, it brings you clarity. In order to get that clarity, I think we have to accept how we feel about things. We have to tap into our emotion, and maybe that disappointment is really what is. It's important here to accept that disappointment, accept that pain or sorrow or sadness in your life. Because maybe with all the air, we're trying to rationalize. Maybe it's like we're saying, well, I should just stay where I'm at. I got a good thing going. It's a safe place. I know what I'm doing. I can't go taking this big risk is going to lead to. There's too many things that could go wrong. I think in the background here with this Seven of Swords, I think there are a lot of other voices. Right? There are either a lot of people around you that are telling you other things that you should be doing, or this is part of our own mind that is that's kind of saying there's a lot of uncertainty in the past. Maybe there's been a lot of criticism. Maybe we've had issues with insecurity in the past, not believing in ourselves, not believing that we're capable of this, not believing in our own Ace of Wands, right? This is perhaps a card of distraction. Perhaps it is this clarity, this calling from the universe, this starlight that's been trying to make its way in to your mind, And we've been, maybe not intentionally, but we've been sort of not hearing it. There's been too much chatter going on in our minds that we haven't been able to hear the voice of Spirit, right? So this is another thing that we're doing beginning to end, right? We're going from this state of, let's say, chaos or static or too much noise that's interrupting or interfering with the signal to now pure signal. Think of it like a radio station or a radio antenna, some kind of transmission or a broadcast. I don't know, I guess they still have broadcast radio, right? This is a lot of interference with the signal. You can't hear your music on the radio. We got to adjust the knob. You remember when radios used to have a little knob and a little red line to adjust the frequency, change the channel, you know? Well, this now we're tuned in. We've gotten rid of all that noise, the noise of doubt, the noise of insecurity, the noise of other people, the noise of saying all the other reasons why it would be easier, safer, better to just stay where you are, not go, not do it, not pursue this astronomical sort of goal or project or pursuit of yours. I feel like it really is changing your world. I feel like you're done having these restrictions on yourself. Yeah. And it may be, with that, back to what I was saying before, the Five of Cups, we may have to just accept that disappointment and say, I'm not satisfied with life. There's a reason why we keep thinking about the elephant when we're trying not to. It's because we're not satisfied to not have it, right? We keep thinking about doing this, yeah, because it's your soul's way of saying that your life is not complete or it's not whole if you don't take advantage of this, if you don't at least try and do this. Okay? And that sometimes our disappointment, sometimes our sadness in life is the only thing that's going to get us to change. It's the only thing that's saying, I don't like this state of sadness, so I'm going to do something about it. I don't like the way I feel. I'm going to change my life so that I can feel something different, something better, something more satisfying, meaningful, pleasurable, whatever, right? But if we ignore this, then we don't have the catalyst for change. We have to first feel this in order to say, I don't like it, I want to change it, right? But if we won't look at it, then there's nothing to change. We don't have that motivation to make this big move. Okay. Now I should point out that it is the Lunar New Year approaching. This is the year of the wood serpent. This is all about sort of taking these big risks, taking our imagination, taking our creativity, taking our talent, right, and making it real. Right? Transforming our lives in a way that's very, very practical. We want the earth energy. Okay? And I think you realize that doing this, if it succeeds, it is going to change your life. But we've been thinking, scared, thinking, ignoring, but now clarity. Now clarity. We get the green light, we confront how we feel about life, and we're saying, I'm going. And I'm going to make this real. And what does this mean? I don't know what you're doing, but we're making it real. We're transferring all these thoughts and feelings and this impulse into behavior, into doing some sort of action in the physical world to manifest whatever this impulse is. Okay? The fire has to reach the earth. And the year of the wood serpent is the year that we do that. Okay? In the future position, of course, 10 of Swords, we're thinking of all the ways that our plans could fall through, all the ways that this could end up kind of poorly for us. This is a card of ruin. This is a card of, how many ways can this go horribly wrong for me? And the more we think about this, the more we sort of get scared, right? The more we're sort of, we're ill at ease about it. But I think that we have to ask ourselves that is the fear of staying the same greater than the fear of going forward and maybe not making it? right? What are we most afraid of? Staying where we are, how we are, doing what we're doing, being who we are forever? Or are we more afraid of taking a chance and maybe having it not work out? Change is only possible when the fear of staying the same is going to be greater than like the pain and the fear of what's in front of you. And then our Ten of Swords, all this worry about the future, all the ways that it can go wrong, I'm catastrophizing, I'm thinking all the ways, all the different scenarios that could possibly happen that I don't want, right? It becomes a recognition of a birdcage around us, that we're sort of using this catastrophizing as a reason to keep ourselves contained. I can't go out there and take this big chance on myself because, look, there are a million ways that it can go wrong. Right? The 10 of the tarot is not just a 10. It's an infinite number. We will never stop finding ways to ruin our own plans. Right? And we have to realize that that habit of ours, all of us as human beings, is itself a limitation on what we're capable of doing and what we're going to do. And so we have to realize that, yeah, we need to plan for the future. I need to sort of run through scenarios like the way a military person or even like a football person, right? They might go through all these different plays and figure out kind of what's going to happen if I do this, what's going to happen if I do that. And we have to have that sort of capability. But there comes a time where it's just, it's limiting. We're doing that too much where now it's just, we're keeping ourselves contained. So this is about us going through the bars of the birdcage and spreading our wings and getting to this wide open universe of no restrictions, no boundaries. You're heading out into outer space to make contact with your star because you've tuned in to the frequency and the tip of your mind is receiving the data. You're receiving the broadcast, and here you are now booting up the rocket ship, and you're going out to find that star and to make contact with that spiritual source. Okay, we have a Knight of Swords down here at the bottom. This is your ability to act despite your thinking. You know, you're the classic overthinker, right? But there's something else about you, and that's your ability to act passionately. You're a cardinal water sign, right? We're bringing out the very best qualities of Cancer right now. You're able to make a decision based on this passion, based on this fire, in spite of the risks, in spite of the challenges, in spite of all of the swords cards and the overthinking. You're making the decision to do it. And that, I think, is brilliant. To me, that's perfection. Right? Many of us, we overthink. We get an 8 or a 9 of swords. You don't have those cards. Something special about you. You can overthink all day long, but it doesn't prevent you from doing what you know is the right thing to do. So we don't see that very often. That's special here, right? You don't have the 8. You don't have the 9, and you don't have a 3 of swords either. Well, now I'm setting myself up for some disappointment here with the mystery card, aren't I? I shouldn't be doing that. But you see what I mean here. Well, let's talk about the path of the serpent. Not really a whole lot more to say, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, though, please do. It is free. Okay. Your general energy is the moon card. The moon card is kind of a narrowing of the psychic aperture. It is a squinting of the third eye, right? Squinting. We're trying to see the distance clearly. And I guess I'm nearsighted, so this makes a lot of sense to me. We're trying to squint to see into the future, right? Rather than seeing everything that's right around me now, which is, of course, all these swords cards, we're trying to peer through the bars of the birdcage and see the future that we want. We're trying to squint and see through this dark, scary forest to what's on the other side. Going through this fear, going through this uncertainty, what is it bringing you, right? Well, for one, it's bringing you a 6 of swords. But it's a narrowing, right? When you narrow the aperture, the distance vision gets very acute. I can see the distance clearly. I can see far away really, really good. But I can't see what's in front of my face, right? And we widen the aperture. Okay, then I'm taking in more light. I can see more things of what's right around me here, but I can't see what's kind of any further than my hand, right? And that's kind of when I take my glasses on and off. That's me. I'm nearsighted, okay? And so with this, with the moon card, it's trying to ignore right now the context, ignore all the dark, scary stuff, all the monsters that are around me now, all my fears and doubts and all this stuff, worries, and trying to see long distance, trying to squint and see clearly the future that we're trying to achieve. Okay? Then it kind of gives us a little bit of courage to go through the dark, scary forest. I also think that the more we try to ignore the dark, scary forest, the more we try to ignore how we feel and what we want, then I think the more we think about it. Again, we're trying not to think of the elephant, but we keep thinking about it. Well, there's only one solution to that, you know, and that's to initiate this plan and to go forward with whatever this is. The Six of Swords, if we squint and we see the future, I think you'll understand that there is a divine plan here. This is the map. This is the blueprint of your life. This is the divine plan. And it's not so much that we sort of set the GPS and that's like the car drives itself, you know. But we have a map. We know the map's not the territory. But we can see that this is what I'm supposed to do. I've thought it out enough that I have a good strategy. I have the right materials and tools with me. I know what I'm doing. It seems reasonable enough. We're going out on this expedition into an unknown land. You're going to bring a map, right? You're going to have something by which to orient yourself. And I feel like this is us trying to be as organized and as reasonable and as prepared as possible, even though we're going out into this dark, scary forest. Okay? Because we've squinted and we've seen the clarity on the other side. We've seen the reason behind all of this, and we understand that this is part of that divine plan for us. Now, the first thing that we have to do then, before we really get started, is, like I said, confront those feelings. Because if we can lie to ourselves and pretend that we're content exactly where we are, nothing needs to change. I'm perfectly fine where I'm at. Right? Then we have no need for any of this other stuff. But then why is there the overthinking? Why do you keep thinking about the elephant? Right? If it were that easy, if we really didn't feel the disappointment and that Five of Cups was not there, right? Then we wouldn't keep having these, we wouldn't be always confronted with these same thoughts, these same ideas, this same feeling, impulse to do this thing. And maybe even it's starting to seep into your dreams, or you're dreaming about the elephant. We're trying not to think it's not a good idea. It is a good idea. And we'll see the clarity. And like I said with this, it's the tip of the sword is piercing into outer space. You're receiving the confirmation. You're hearing the call. You're tuned into the spiritual frequency. I think this is going to work out very well for you. I think that this is going to be the adventure of a lifetime, even if it's something simple, like you're going to take a class, right? You're going to go take a painting class or a pottery class or something, you know? Let's look at the mystery card. Hopefully not more swords cards. More water, more earth, right, would be great. Not swords. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments down below. Let's see what we have. Oh, it's a Nine of Pentacles. Well, there's the earth, right? Ring the bell for that one. This is perfect. This is saying that you're doing it. This is you in the process of this traveling. This is you seeing the success. This is you covering the ground, going forward. And I think that it looks like you're having a good time out there beyond the bars of the birdcage. It wasn't a dark, scary forest at all. It feels like this is a paradise. It feels like you're living your best life here. You got your pets, your plants, your people are around here somewhere. You have an opportunity to slow down. There's that little snail reminding you to enjoy the scenery. If it's a dark, scary forest, we might have the urge to run through it as fast as we can. But if it's not a dark, scary forest, let's slow down. Let's enjoy the journey. Let's enjoy this trip, you know? So if you're going to go take a class or you're going to go back to school or something, for instance, we may be expecting it to be difficult and challenging and a lot of anxiety and a lot of self-doubt, and I'm worried, how am I going to get along with people, and I'm not used to it, I'm going to be the old person though in the school, you know, all these kind of problems that we may anticipate, and it's just going to be tough, and I'm not going to have fun, and no one's going to like me. But then we get there and it's like, hey, this is fun, this is cool, I like this, you know, and we start having a good time. We realize that this is much better than we anticipated. All this overthinking, but we didn't let it interrupt our launch, you know. I love it. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Cancer, Tuesday and Friday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. Doesn't cost anything. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.